You need to slow down to speed up. You need to take a breath and get to know people. It's the old adage, or it's a saying of instant gratification. I want it now.
We're going to go in a lot of details about that career profession. But Alan, I know it's probably a long time ago, but I'm just curious at the very beginning when you went to college, why did you go with accounting, not finance, not any other major?
Yeah, it's a great question, Rosie, and I don't have an answer. I remember it was in ninth grade in high school where I said I wanted to be an accountant or CPA, and I wanted to work for Arthur Andersen. I had heard about Arthur Andersen. It was the accounting firm for the company my father worked for.
Well, you mentioned that your dad worked in public accounting. Is that
No,
because?
he was in technology, computers, information
Oh.
technology, and somehow I learned that Arthur Andersen was the accounting firm for it was a large company that he worked for.
Yeah, so after you graduate, you went straight to public and you work at Big 8, Big 6 at that time. I'm just curious at that time, why did you go straight to public, not like, oh, let me check it out, go to private, let me check it out, go to
Yeah.
audit. You went straight to public in tax.
Well, I wanted to be in tax. At that point, the firms were not hiring directly into tax. They were just starting. So they said, listen, we need you to go and work in audit for 6 months until tax busy season was up and running or was revved up. So I spent 6 months in audit. I'm a type of person, Rosie, that when I make a decision, I make the decision.
So it seems that you work in public accounting in your whole career. And I'm just curious, in your whole career, what are the best things in public accounting that you have learned?
On the variety of assignments, getting to work with for owners of companies, executives of companies. I had some experience working with the large publicly traded companies, but even when I was doing that, I was working with the senior executives on their tax planning.
Wow, personal connection. Normally, I just heard about networking, about professional connection in this career. Now you bring up the idea of personal connection in this profession. I would love to hear more about that personal connection. How did you develop? How do you maintain that personal connection? And how do you grow your personal connection?
Yeah, it's a great question, Rosie. Look, people have different skills, right? Some are the technical people, some are the sales people, some are the client service people, some are all three. You are all three. Regardless, you find your niche or you find your space in public accounting company and your relationships with clients.
Yeah, but in your career, you're probably very busy with all your responsibilities at work. How can you still find time to understand, to get to know people in the personal side?
That's a really good question. And yes, everybody's busy and you need to slow down to speed up. You need to take a breath and get to know people.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
curious where the learning source that you get it from in your career. Do you have your mentor? Do you have any books you read that you recommend to people to look at?
Yeah, I've read a number of books and I always make suggestions to what to read. I like reading about successful people and how they made their decisions, how they did what they did, how they failed, or how they learned when things didn't go the right way. And I'm always a student of people from other professions, not just professional services, because I like using things that I learned from them that has been successful or unsuccessful in another context in the world in which I am very curious.
Yeah, you also mentioned about learn people from successful stories and unsuccessful stories. As at this period of time in your career, I know you have gone through so many successful stories in your own experience. I'm just wondering if you can share with us some of your successful stories that we can learn to advance our career, our profession in this accounting profession.
Well, look, when I started my career back in 1987, I was very professionally immature. I made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't focused. I wasn't diligent. I wasn't intentional or disciplined. And so I struggled in my first 2 years. And something clicked in me, the idea that I need to be more intentional. I need to focus. I need to slow down to speed up. I didn't even realize what that meant back in 1989, but I was practicing slowing down.
It's not easy, Alan. Even for myself, a lot of time I find myself that I just focus on destination, just focus on how to get there. and then just completely forgot about journey, about all what I learned through the process. And the moment I get to the destination, I'm going to find the next destination. So,
Yeah. Look, it's the old adage, or it's a saying of instant gratification. I want it now.
yep,
I don't
exactly.
want to, I don't want to wait. I want to just, and that's not the way life works. So anyway, that was a success of mine. And look, there have been many along the way, whether it was the successful acquisitions or look, it was a success to get elected to be the next CEO of Baker Tilly, a storied organization. It was a success to, be nominated for a few positions. So there's all sorts of successes along the way, and they're nice. And now the success is talking to people like you, talking to students, mentoring people, using my skills and my experiences to help others, whether they be CEOs or C-suite executives or individuals that take me up on my offer to coach them.
That's amazing because you mentioned about the definition of being a mentor and also being a coach. And I know I have multiple discussion about the difference between mentor and coach. And in the past, I have a conversation saying that a coach is someone who in the higher level in within your firm who can speak up on your behalf. But
Hmm.
now you be a coach, but you're not even within the firm. You have people from outside, and then you still be their coach. And so I'm just want to understand. So from your viewpoint, what the definition of being a coach and how it differs from being a coach and being a mentor?
Look, a coach can be a professional coach, it can be a sports coach, it can be a life coach, and coaches are here to make you better, make you perform better. I don't know if there's really a I don't know if there needs to be a difference between mentor and coach. I don't know if we, to me, it could be a both and, right? It doesn't need to be binary. One is this, one is that. A mentor is somebody that's going to give you advice and is going to give you perspective on things, let you make your own decision. Maybe a mentor is a little bit more passive.
Yeah, I like one of the description about you is that inspire and navigate people around bold ideas and uncomfortable change. And so
Yeah.
it's just match exactly how CEOs mention the comments about your style. And I'm just curious, so because you lead people through so many uncomfortable change, what is your most uncomfortable change for yourself through your career?
Great question. I've had to reinvent myself a few times. When I left the big eight or four at the time to come to a small firm like Baker Tilly, I needed to reinvent myself there. I needed to become more entrepreneurial or more aggressive in building things myself rather than having the firm, the big PwC, do it for me. And look, when I retired, I wasn't done. I was not tired of working. I wanted to continue making a difference in a 6,000 person organization with all the systems and all the support is one way of being able to make a difference.
That was very impressive about what you did for Baker Tilly. Like you helped the firm went global for the first time while expanding into 15 new domestic and 6 international markets. And that was very impressive. And also successfully completed over 20 mergers and acquisitions in the matter of just a few years. Wow, you did a lot as being a CEO at Baker Tilly.
Well, I was the CEO, Rosey. A number of people did a lot of things. I certainly had my hand in it, of course. And the biggest thing that I was able to do was put together the right people. I started leading the firm in 2015. And in 2018, we unveiled a new strategy. We spent a lot of money, more than $1 million on a consultant to help us with a strategy. And I remember at the time saying, we need to set a goal for 2025 that we would be, and goal was we're going to achieve $1.5 billion in revenue.